Hey y'all, this whole Diddy situation just took a wild turn because Kim Porter's family is officially celebrating that jury decision. But the streets are saying that the celebration isn't just about justice, it's about revenge and receipts. See, the internet thought they were just relieved to finally see Diddy face consequences, but insiders are saying that Kim's family played a much bigger role in this than folks realized. The word in the streets is they've been working quietly behind the scenes, cooperating with the feds, feeding them information, and pulling strings to help bring Diddy down. But here's where it gets even crazier, because insiders are claiming that this wasn't just some last-minute move. This was years in the making, with Kim's people allegedly building a case, sitting on receipts, and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. But was it really about justice for Kim, or just a payback for how dirty Diddy allegedly did her? Because once you hear the tea insiders are spilling about how deep this rabbit hole goes, you'll see why this story is far from over. Let's get into it, y'all. Now, Kim Porter's family is out here celebrating, and they're not even trying to keep it quiet. After everything they've been through, from the endless drama to all the whispers and speculation surrounding Kim's death, you can just tell that they've been holding this moment in for a long time. And now that Diddy has finally been convicted of some of the charges, the family is making it clear how they feel about justice finally catching up to him. And honestly, when you look at everything Diddy has been accused of doing to Kim Porter, nobody is really shocked that her family is rejoicing right now. Y'all already know the relationship between Diddy and Kim's family was rocky for years, even while she was still alive. But after she passed, it got downright nasty. There are reports everywhere about how Diddy allegedly mistreated Kim's family after her death and, cutting them off, controlling access to the kids, and turning the whole situation into a power play. Word in the streets is that he even tried to turn Kim's own children against her side of the family. So with all that bad blood, it's really no surprise that her family's out here celebrating now that Diddy's finally being convicted, even though technically he managed to beat the bigger charges. See, some people have been saying that Kim's family shouldn't be celebrating that hard because considering Diddy wasn't convicted of the RICO charges or the heavy trafficking counts, because those are charges that would have sent him away for a long time. The RICO alone carried a possible life sentence, and the trafficking charges came with a mandatory minimum of 15 years and the potential to lock him up for life. So yeah, if those had stuck, Diddy probably wouldn't be walking free ever again. But just because Diddy beat the bigger charges doesn't mean he walked away clean. He was still found guilty of violating the Mann Act. And that's not a small thing. The Mann Act makes it illegal to transport anyone across state lines for illegal activity, and the jury believed the evidence was strong enough to convict him. Well, the charges specifically tied back to the incidents involving Cassie Ventura and Jane Doe, who both took the stand and laid it all out. And even though the Mann Act charges don't carry the life sentence that the RICO would have, each count still comes with a maximum of 10 years. Now, insiders are saying it's unlikely Diddy's going to be getting that max, but even a mid-range sentence could still make things very tough for him. And if y'all need proof that this conviction is sticking, just look at how the judge handled it. Even though Diddy somehow managed to beat the RICO and trafficking charges, the judge still refused to release him on bond. That alone tells you everything you need to know. Now, there's already talk about that he could get time served, maybe even avoid serious prison time, but the fact that he's sitting behind bars right now speaks volumes. At the very least, it's looking like Diddy's going a few years in prison. And let's just say Kim Porter's family is not exactly losing sleep over it. Honestly, considering the way things went down between them, it's not surprising at all. People close to the situation say Kim's family turned on Diddy years ago, long before she passed, and word on the street says they started pulling away when they found out he was allegedly putting his hands on her behind the scenes. Y'all probably remember those old reports, like that 2005 article that claimed Diddy broke Kim's nose during an argument. Well, the article said Diddy Combs' girlfriend Kim Porter was left with a broken nose after the couple argued on Combs' yacht in Saint-Tropez. Combs flew in a specialist plastic surgeon from Geneva after the accident. Porter has since claimed that she hurt her face after she banged her nose on a table. And then when Diddy first got arrested, Kim Porter's family didn't even try to hide how they felt. Her dad, Jake Porter, announced that he was siding with Diddy's victims, saying, "The truth will come out. It always does in the end. And when I saw the video of what he did to Cassie Ventura, I was disgusted. I don't really have much to say beyond that. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty, I guess, but the truth will come out." Now, if you've been keeping up with this mess, y'all already know that Kim's family's relationship with Diddy has been strained for years, and honestly, a lot of people believe it goes way deeper than just family drama, because let's not just forget these rumors. The ones that claim Diddy allegedly had something to do with Kim's death. For years, there have been whispers that Kim was working on a tell-all book, ready to expose him, and then suddenly she passed away. Officially, they say it was pneumonia, but even Kim's own family family didn't buy that for a second. When reporters asked Jake if he believed the official story, his response he described is a load of crap, and it didn't stop there. One of Kim's other relatives came forward and confirmed that Kim completely changed when she got with Diddy, and not in a good way. The family member said, "If she was my daughter, I would be demanding the investigation be reopened. I saw the change in her when we visited her in California. She was different. Something wasn't right. Now I feel in my spirit he's guilty, but justice will have to take its course." Another family member came forward and exposed just how shady the situation surrounding Kim's passing really was. They pointed out the details that never really made sense, saying that when Kim passed, there were serious questions about the way she died. The relative claimed that there was blood on Kim's pillowcases and a visible trail of bedroom floor leading to the bathroom. It gets even worse though, because according to the family, Kim wasn't left alone that night. She was under the supervision of a medical professional who was personally handpicked by Diddy himself. But somehow, with all that supervision, nobody had answers for how things really happened. The most disturbing part though, the family revealed Kim's last known call was to 911 at exactly 2:43 a.m. But despite that call for help, Kim wasn't found until later that morning around 11 a.m. The gap of nearly 9 hours, combined with the blood evidence and the secrecy around the medical care, is exactly why Kim's family believes something was being covered up. And now they're making it clear that they're ready to expose every piece of it. And from the looks of it, that justice is finally starting to catch up with them. But y'all, it's only going to get messier from here, because word in the streets is that they blame Diddy for brainwashing Kim's kids and turning them against her side of the family. And the wildest part is that the evidence is right there, because Diddy's kids have been standing 10 toes down behind him, even if that means turning their backs on everybody else, including their late mother's family. Now, we're not even going to unpack Quincy right now, because y'all already know the drama there. Check the last few videos. But he's been riding for Diddy so hard that he basically declared him as his real dad, even though his biological father, I'll be sure, is still alive, still in the picture, and has made it clear that he wants to be a part of his life. But it gets messier when you bring up the rumors surrounding Kim's death. You'll already know Kim's family has hinted for years that they believe Diddy allegedly had a hand in what happened to her. But here's the plot twist. Kim's own kids came out and shut that down publicly, and the statement they dropped was giving shade and damage control all in one. They said, "We have seen so many hurtful and false rumors circulating about our parents, Kim Porter and Sean Combs' relationship, as well as about our mom's tragic passing, that we feel the need to speak out. Claims that our mom wrote a book are simply untrue. She did not. And anyone claiming to have a manuscript is misrepresenting themselves. Additionally, please understand that any so-called friend speaking on her behalf of our mom or her family is not a friend, nor do they have her best interest at heart." So yeah, it looks like the kids have made it clear that they were riding hard for Diddy, and they're basically accusing Kim's own family of lying. But here's where it gets crazy, because insiders are saying that Kim's family isn't just mad, they've been moving behind the scenes in ways that could flip this whole story upside down. See, now that Diddy's federal legal mess is finally coming to a head, Kim Porter's family is making it clear that they are not done with him yet. Word in the streets is that they have been quietly putting together a wrongful death lawsuit. And from what insiders are saying, they're planning to hit Diddy where it hurts the most, in court and in his pockets. So here's the part that has everybody talking, because apparently Kim's family didn't just sit back and watch this all unfold. The word is that they allegedly played a major part in building the case that got Diddy convicted in the first place. Well, multiple insiders are saying that Kim's family has been working with the feds behind the scenes, handing over information, connecting the dots, even tracking down victims that most people forgot about. And if you have been wondering how the feds suddenly popped up with a witness from back in the 90s, now you know how. And it wasn't random. Kim's family reportedly wanted to see Diddy behind bars so badly they volunteered to help federal agents lock him up. And honestly, it makes sense, because y'all remember they have been accusing Diddy for years of allegedly covering up Kim's death and painting a false narrative around what really happened to her. And now it looks like they're about to get their own special pound of flesh. According to a source, they all have been contacted by the FBI, and 3 family members and 6 friends have been interviewed already and have been told to stay quiet. According to Kim's ex, Cassie told lawyers upon filing her own lawsuit against Diddy that she had information about the death of Kim Porter, and she has proof of the reason why Kim was And now that the federal case has officially wrapped, the Porter family is wasting no time getting ready to make their moves. Word is they've been sitting back quietly collecting receipts, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, and now it looks like they're finally about to get their lick back at Diddy. Now, from what insiders are saying, this isn't just some emotional reaction. They've allegedly got hard evidence, timelines, documents, and inside connections ready to expose the entire situation. And considering how shady the circumstances around Kim's passing have always been, if even half of what they claim to have is real, this is about to be a hot mess on a whole different level. But one thing's for sure, two things for certain: the Porter family might have been quiet for years, but quiet never means defeated. Now that Diddy's been hit with federal convictions and his entire empire is crumbling, they're making their move. And if what the streets are saying are true, then they've been working behind the scenes with the feds, stacking receipts and getting ready to hit him with the wrongful death lawsuit. And this is about to get real ugly real fast. But let's be honest here, once they file that lawsuit, everything Diddy's tried to bury for the past decade is gonna come to light. And with the Porters reportedly locked in and ready to expose him, the next chapter of this drama, it's going to be real nasty. Stay locked in because the storm is just brewing.